Looking for a moist and delicious banana bread recipe that will have everyone asking for more? I'll show you how to transform those overripe bananas into a mouth-watering masterpiece. This recipe will give you the most soft, fluffy, and moist banana cake that you've ever tasted. The best part is all you'll need is a fork. You'll start first with 3 overripe bananas. Those brown spotted bananas are perfect. You want to go ahead and peel the bananas and put them into a bowl. I prefer to use bananas that are in this stage of ripeness. I know some other recipes may call for bananas that are completely black or practically decomposing and falling apart, but I actually disagree. I find that when they're overly ripened and totally black, it makes the bananas too sweet in my opinion. I also feel that the banana flavor doesn't completely shine through when they're in that mush state. After using my fork to mash the bananas for some time, I consider them ready when the consistency starts to look like baby food. Next, I go ahead and add 2 eggs and mix it all together. Throughout the whole process of using my fork to mix everything together, I also sometimes use the fork to break up any of the large clumps of banana that I see by just pressing it against the bowl. It's kind of a preference thing. You can also choose to leave the large clumps of banana if you prefer. Next, I add the vanilla extract and mix everything together. I then mix in the vegetable oil. I found that for this particular cake, vegetable oil works especially well in making the cake moist and even better than melted butter. I then add sour cream. This is also one of the reasons why my banana bread is amazingly rich and fluffy. I then use my fork to mix everything together. Again, you can use a whisk or whatever tool you choose. I just prefer to keep everything simple. I go ahead and add some white sugar, followed by some brown sugar. I use light brown sugar, but you can also use dark brown sugar. It'll just change the color of the cake just slightly. I mix everything together, and I'm sure to break up any clumps of sugar that I see. Then, in a separate bowl, I put my flour, and then go ahead and add some salt, followed by baking soda, cinnamon, and then nutmeg. Then I go ahead and mix all the dry ingredients together. This spice combination is what's going to bring an amazing smell to your kitchen while the banana bread is baking. Then I go ahead and prepare to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. I sort of do it in batches just to make sure that it mixes and incorporates well. I don't want to get any clumps of flour inside of the batter. This really is one of my favorite cakes to make because not only is it delicious, but it's extremely simple. If you've picked up on our style, you can sense that we tend to like cakes that are lightly sweetened and simple. So we don't use much sugar as a result, but you can always add more sugar if you prefer. You can also choose to add some extras that some other people do, like nuts and chocolate chips, but we don't really like any of that in our cake, so we keep it nice and classic and let the overripe banana shine through. In your prepared baking pan, go ahead and add your batter. I prepared this baking pan with butter and parchment paper, but in other recipes, we sometimes use old school vegetable oil and lightly sprinkled flour. You can use whatever method you prefer. Then you'll go ahead and put your loaf pan into an oven that's been preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour and 20 minutes. You'll know your cake is done once an inserted toothpick comes out dry, just like this. After letting the banana bread rest on the counter for about 10 minutes, then you can attempt to remove it. I'll usually take off the parchment paper and then let it continue to cool on a cooling rack for additional time. After the banana bread has sufficiently cooled, you can cut into it and notice the amazing results. You'll see that it's a soft, moist, delicious cake that you can't get enough of. I usually make multiple batches at a time and wrap some of the loaves with plastic wrap, and it keeps very well. It's definitely one of my most favorite cakes to make, and it took a lot of trial and error to develop this, so I'm so happy to share this moist, delicious banana bread recipe with you. Definitely check out more of our cooking videos here on YouTube, and as usual, head to platedplanner.com to get your own digital cookbook to add this and all your favorites.